Also, Patsy, if you don't want the pop filter, you don't need it.
Okay.
This is Charles's stand, and Charles definitely needs a pop filter.
Or
But you
some
don't
people just
require
more
it.
inveterate poppers than others? Is that a thing?
Yeah, generally.
There's also a lot of semen on it.
Setting the tone. Thank you, Fabio. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a bonus episode of the Tales of podcast. I'm Jan, I'll be your GM for tonight. And if you're wondering why it's my voice hitting you from the GM chair tonight and not the dulcet tones of our Fabio to carry on our Delta Green saga, if you listen to the last episode, if you're a regular listener, you will have heard in our pickup intro that Charles and Mikey are sick. They are not only still sick, but Charles has been sick for quite some time, and we have now burned through all of the Delta Green episodes we had in the can. So I'm gathered here tonight with Fabio and some special guests to bring you some interim RPG mayhem. But first, let me introduce our regular cast member, Fabio.
I have two questions. Bonus? Are you gonna keep that in? Or are you gonna edit that one out?
Well, when I listened back, when I've been editing the previous episode, the bonus room in Delta Green, I was like, I can't help but hear it in my head as bonus room. So I thought I was already continuing that on. Clearly, Fabio has not listened to the last two episodes.
And we're going with dulcet as well. I can't remember the exact meaning of dulcet. I must
It
look
means
that up.
sweet, I think.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't. Not a word that has been associated with me before.
Really?
But I'll take it.
I always associate a dulcet tone of like smooth.
Yeah, it's like a smooth,
Your
deep
to-
radio voice. Yeah.
Thank you for backing me up. Special guest, you will be invited back.
Your tones are dulcet as fuck. Never let you tell anyone. Excellent.
And joining us tonight is special guest number 1. This is our most wonderful podcast artist who has made our Tales of Tilted London artwork and our title logo. This is the lovely Patsy.
Hello, Internet. Lovely to be here.
You should all go and check out Patsy's artwork. Plug. Patsy, where can they find you?
At anyone's Patsy on Twitter.
That's right. So get on it, folks. And this is actually Patsy's first time on the feed, but not the first time recording with us. He's actually also participating in another game that we're running with Mikey to be released sometime in the future.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And introducing special guest number 2, we have Seb.
Hello.
Seb, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Seb. I do improv with Jan, and I also do podcasts and YouTube stuff. And yes, that's my thing.
Yes, Seb and I are on a musical improv team known as Twinkies, Ho-Hos, and Ding Dongs.
Known far and wide as
far and
Twinkies,
wide.
Ho-Hos, and Ding Dongs.
And we're actually going to be debuting soon. So very exciting times. So in the interim, whilst we're waiting to get our Delta Green campaign back on the road, tonight we are going to play a game called Lasers and Feelings. So for all of you indie tarts,
Is that what you call your listeners?
for all of you indie TTRPG fans out there, I'm told this is actually a pretty well-known mini or micro RPG. For all those who don't know, this is a quite rules-light, improv-heavy... a rules-light,
Someone
improv-heavy...
take a wine off her.
A rules-light, improv-heavy sci-fi game by John Hopper. We'll get a little bit more into the rules as we go along. But for now, let's jump right in. So, lasers and feelings. Ta-tung. You are the crew of the interstellar scout ship Raptor. Your mission is to explore uncharted regions of space, deal with aliens both friendly and deadly, and defend the consortium worlds against space dangers. Captain Darcy has been overcome by the strange psychic entity known as something else, leaving you to fend for yourselves while he recovers in the medical pod. Also, if any of you can't guess, sci-fi is not my typical genre, so have fun with that as I plod my way through this.
What's like your nearest reference pool touchstone? Like, have you ever seen an episode of Star Trek?
No.
Okay, that might be a problem.
Okay.
You ever seen an episode of Red Dwarf?
I have the collection on my shelf.
I figured
right
that was
here.
a more likely hit.
Yes.
So you know everything you need to know about sci-fi. I mean, Red Dwarf references everything that you need to know.
Pretty much. So I feel semi-safe with that.
Yeah, it's like the cliff notes for the whole genre.
So the premise with lasers and feelings is that everything boils down to two kinds of actions. You have either laser actions, which are actions that use things like science, reasoning, things like that, or you react with feelings actions, which are like rapport, passion, charm, things like this. So your characters will either take sciencey, tech, sci-fi doodah reactions or charismatic I'm going to use my feelings actions.
A simple Apollonian or Dionysian duopoly, I get it. It's left brain, it's right brain, it's extremely archetypal. I think we're all on the same page.
Do you want to get over here, Patsy, and you want to do this?
Hey, don't tempt me.
You're far too smart for this world.
Like, I'm inches away from going mad with power on a good day, and I'm just quitting smoking again, so...
Oh my. So, first what we're going to do is we're going to create our characters. We're going to create a few details about our ship. And then I am going to roll on the pre-provided tables here to create our adventure. And then we are going to basically improv this adventure, use some dice rolls to decide whether our characters are using their lasers or their feelings and how successful they are in overcoming whatever danger we may find at the end of our dice rolls. So, are we ready to begin the character creation?
As ready as we'll ever be. Or as ready as we're getting. One of those sounds worse than the other.
All right, so first let's get started on our character creations. Part 1, choose a style for your character. I am going to say we can go off the pre-prepared notes here for some of these, so feel free to butt in with any preferences that you might have. But we're going to start with, they call it style here. Pre-listed on the game, we have alien, android, dangerous, heroic, hotshot, intrepid, or savvy. What speaks to you?
Dangerous.
Of course. That is exactly what I think of when I look at you, Fabio.
Was that sarcastic?
No.
Was that sarcastic?
Depends if you want to be called dangerous or not. It's like, I'm the sort of man, when women look at me, I want them to think he's dangerous.
I'm thinking dangerous as in like a wild card. The Murdoch of the...
That might be more hotshot, right?
I was thinking, is that hotshot?
No, a hotshot is like an ace. Like someone who's great at things.
Like Ace Rimmer. Yes, if you keep referring it back to Red Dwarf references, that I will definitely get
But
at.
like dangerous wild card is, someone who, like, I mean, things might work out, they might not. They might work out and I kill everyone else.
You're a loose cannon, but God damn it, do you get results.
Exactly. Well...
God damn it, do you sometimes get results.
God damn it, do I usually end up the only ones left standing.
All right. We'll come to names in a bit. But Fabio is going with the dangerous. Patsy, what speaks to you?
I would go for alien.
Alien. Do you want to tell us, is there anything in your mind right now that jumps out for
Okay,
that?
So what if I was the first officer of the ship, and I'm also a sort of boneless cephalopod of some sort, who just sort of needs to be moistened regularly and like can control lots and lots of switches using my many flexible tentacle pseudopods?
Only if you can tell me right now how many pseudopods you have.
I'm going to go with 6.
Right.
They are muscular and powerful, but I can't go very fast. Also, if I'm immersed in a liquid, I can use my siphon on my large, flexible, bell-shaped head to go fast for brief periods.
Should we roll for whether they are muscular or pustular?
I thought you were going to say pussy chiller.
I mean, I think that's something for human crewmen to judge, because for me they are normal and actually the beauty standard of my species.
Well, let's come back to those details when we flesh out your characters a bit more, and we'll wrap up those details before we move on to the next bit. Seb, for the first bit for your style, has something jumped out for you?
Yeah, I'm going to be an android.
Android. Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about what's jumping out to you first for that?
I'm thinking of like a data type, like someone who's trying to understand human feelings.
I was going to say you have to put that in Red Dwarf terms because I haven't seen Star Trek.
Brighton.
I do not know anything about Red Dwarf.
Oh, we have to do a marathon, man. Absolutely. The first 2 seasons are really dry and really hard to get through because they had no budget. They then afterwards didn't have any budget either, but it gets better from there.
It's always the most enticing recommendations is when you start with the first 2 seasons are hard to get through.
Yeah, after the first 20 hours, it really picks up. Also, the first season's great. I love it.
But boys, back me up. Back me up. Red Dwarf is a must.
Yeah, but I disagree with you on the first 2 seasons.
Oh, you think so?
Poor.
Yeah,
I don't think they're poor. I think they're hard to get through because it was really a show that nobody banked on. So there was so low budget. If you're looking at it from a sci-fi perspective, they've got so many really great ideas going on. It's just
I don't. Well, it was BBC, wasn't it? Mm. Well, look what they did with a budget for Doctor Who, which is fucking nothing. So I don't know how much money you would have to give them for it to look good.
Fair.
But it is funny.
Fair.
Yeah, and also like the premise from the start of it is that this situation is as fucked as it could possibly be and will never get better.
Yeah.
And that's a bold choice to make in the first episode, and that just makes everything kind of funnier.
I mean, the whole premise is it's the complete antithesis of Star Trek. Instead of it being like super hyper intelligent, competent people in space, it's the most incompetent people, 2 people left, 1 alive and
How dare you?
1
Arnold
not.
Judas Rimmer is officer material, and I will not have him defamed.
And the captain of the Red Dwarf is Supervisor Simpson from Hadley's Hope in Aliens.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, you have no idea what we're talking about. We'll stop.
Anyway, sorry, we kind of jumped in there on the whole android thing. So we're talking about a Crichton-esque character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I have in mind.
I know who Data is. It's fine.
Well, at least you guys do. I know I've seen pictures.
I refuse to believe that you have never seen an episode of Star Trek. I simply refuse to believe that.
Yeah.
It's impossible. There's no way. There's no way in the world that you have never watched an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, you were
from start
alive
to
and
finish.
not like in a convent all the way through the 90s. It's,
because Star Trek is so
Even if you were in a
ungodly.
convent, you're definitely watching it.
that's a good point. Nuns love sci-fi.
Yeah.
I've seen like scenes from it, but I haven't seen like a full episode end
That's
to end.
bollocks. I don't believe that. You've never seen a full episode of the original series, never The Next Generation, never Deep Space Nine.
No.
Okay, I think this sets a challenge. I think if we get the tone right, we will awaken Jan's repressed memories of full episodes of at least The Next Generation, which he has definitely seen.
I'm worried about what else might be reawakened at that stage, though. If she's locked it down so tight that she's even forgotten Star Trek, probably the TV show she watched the most as a child.
Very
It's
likely.
fully compartmentalized and locked away somewhere in there, deep down. Anyway, Seb, what kind of android are you? Are you like hyper-human, realistic, or?
Oh, I look human, but I'd say the simulation isn't perfect.
Bit of uncanny valley feeling.
Yes.
We'll come back to full character descriptions before we move on from characters. But thank you for that. Next is choose a role for your character. What role does your character have on the ship?
I would like to either be the pilot or the engineer, I think.
Do we have anyone else fighting for those positions?
I don't think so. I was suggesting first officer, but I could also go engineer, for instance, or scientist would probably work quite nicely.
Oh, yes. The ones on the list here that we have from the game originally is doctor, envoy, engineer, explorer, pilot, scientist, or soldier. Do you have any preferences, Seb, that would counter?
I still don't know what an envoy is. Even though that's also a
like
Star
an
Trek
ambassador,
thing,
I guess.
Oh.
I think Firefly.
Oh, wait.
So a sex worker.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, that's an escort. Very different.
Because that is a sci-fi show I have seen many times.
Okay. Well, there'll probably be, less cowboy boots, but overall, I think that's a good source.
Shada. Yeah. So, Fabio, which one are you going with?
What was the question?
What is your role for your character?
Oh, so no one picked either pilot or engineer. Well, we can't have a spaceship without a pilot, so I'll be the pilot.
Okay, you're going to be the pilot. Okay, and Patsy?
Scientist?
Scientist.
I do space science.
I believe either pilot or engineer is the place you'd least want the person who is described as dangerous.
Though the first place you'd notice when someone was dangerous.
True.
Yeah.
And Seb, what role would you like for your character?
I think I'm going to be the doctor. I want to be an android
doctor.
Operating on humans.
All right. So then step 3, choose your number. Now we get to crack out our dice. So we have to choose a number between 2 to 5. A high number means that you are more proficient with sciencey laser actions. So that's technology, cold rationality, calm, precise actions. If you choose a low number, it means you're better at feelings. So intuition, diplomacy, seduction, etc., etc. So some number between 2 to 5 where you think your character ranks on that scale.
Mine's 4.
Alrighty. Fabio?
You see, I'm struggling with this now because I could see an argument where a pilot would be better at intuition because, use the Force, Luke. Turn off your targeting computer. So I'm kind of leaning that way.
I think that makes sense. You're also dangerous. I think that
it's what you really want to hear from the pilot of the starship. It's like, I pilot with my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, under feelings, we've got intuition, diplomacy, seduction, wild, passionate action. That sounds like someone who's dangerous.
Yeah, but I fear then if there is a very mundane, technically piloting thing for me to do, I will fail every time.
Well, I mean, that's part of the game, right? I'm specifically going to now give you shit like that.
Yes.
You must now parallel park the spaceship.
So I'm tempted to go for 3.
3, okay. And Seb, how about you?
I'm going to go with 5.
5. Ooh, bold choice. So for the dear listeners, the purpose of this number is every time that there is some roll required of something that they have to overcome, a challenge that they have to partake in, they have to roll a d6. And if they're using lasers, they have to roll under their number. And if they decide to use feelings, they have to roll over their number. And depending on, they can get extra dice for if they are prepared for this action, and they can get extra dice if they're an expert at this action, and they can get an extra dice they can get an extra die if one of the other players helps them in this action. And depending on the success rate of this, depends on how well the action is performed and what the outcome is.
So I would just if I wanted to use feelings on piloting, I would just always have to come up with some crazy over the top maneuver, which sounds brilliant.
You have to basically justify why you're using feelings to park the ship.
Yeah.
So, yes, now finally for the most important part of the character creation, what is your character's cool space name? Fabio, you're dangerous, wild pilot.
Cool space name. Douglas Spencer.
Okay, so now is the time to tell us, what does Douglas Spencer look like?
Douglas Spencer is a very skinny, very pale man. He's been in space for a long time. He hasn't seen the sun in a very, very long time. He's got black marks under his eyes from lack of sleeping, because he lives life on the edge. It's the only thing he knows how to do, because he has anxiety. And being a pilot of a very expensive, very fast, very explosive spaceship that is filled with, I don't know, are we the only crew? Or
Actually, we haven't defined the spaceship yet.
Right, okay.
That comes next.
So probably flying the spaceship in general just makes him anxious. And yeah, he's a seat of his pants kind of guy.
So would you say that his general demeanor is nervous?
Nervous, yeah. Nervous, twitchy.
Mm-hmm.
Twitching is definitely a part of it.
Really building confidence with your crewmates.
Yeah. Punchy with the buttons as well. And he probably has a tendency to take a hit of something from like pure oxygen, presumably, or something just to calm him down. I think like his flight suit and like vac suit and shit has all this, like you've got a space helmet when you're flying and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe he's jury rigged some medication into the air supply
to keep him calm.
Yes,
we'll see about that. Patsy, what's our alien scientist called?
Tonight I will be playing 6 bright corals of a harmonious nature is my name.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You're going to give me a minute to write that down. Of what?
Of a harmonious nature. Mm-hmm. It sounds better in my language. People call me Coral. I would prefer they didn't, but, humans.
We would have to cut out your eyes for you to hear the true tongue.
Okay, and what does Coral look like?
Coral is about 2.5 feet tall when standing upright because they have no bones or internal structures. They're a mollusk. The maximum span of their tentacles is about sort of 2.5 feet in every direction. So about 5 feet wide, and sort of can ambulate at a sort of walking pace maximum in any direction, including up walls. And wears a sort of crisp polo shirt with like 6 sleeves and has some little glasses.
Or are they like pince-nez glasses?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, there's no ears for them. I've only got one siphon, so they'd be asymmetrical. They're pinched onto the front of my pseudo face type area.
I love them already.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, actually, Douglas is he, him?
Yes.
And Coral is they, them?
Yes, I have given up trying to explain my complex alien ideas of gender and anatomy to anyone. They, them is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put forward a question here? The fact that one of the character types is alien, are we to assume that like humanoid beings are the standard?
It sounds like it. I was actually thinking originally, is this race? But then it says style. So I'm guessing alien, I guess, is your main distinguishing feature, right. Which sounds really sad now that I put it like that.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of taking off sci-fi shows where only one member of the cast can be in prosthetic makeup on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that means that you are some form of humanoid?
Well, I was going to suggest that he is in fact human, but in a universe where there are no other humans.
Well, that can also be the case, yeah. The last human.
Maybe the last one, or somehow ended up in the wrong universe. Or
did you come through a wormhole, maybe?
Perhaps there was a war and he's just the last one. Or he's just so far away from home.
Look, they were too much trouble to keep in the universe. It's for everyone's good. We keep one of them.
I mean, there could have been an accident, one of his ships, and he flew too far away and couldn't get back.
Okay, Seb, tell us a little bit about your android. What's your android's name?
What's a cool android name? What's something like data? Blockchain. He's called Blockchain.
Wait, and you have to tell me what cool way that is now spelled as well, because it can't be spelled the regular way of blockchain.
Oh, it's
BL0K.
Yes, BL0K, and then but chain is normal, spelled normal.
So you've just removed the C.
Correct. and replaced the O with a 0.
And it's written in cursive as well.
No, it's an acronym, but no one knows for what.
You don't want to take a couple of minutes to come up with what's the full thing of the acronym?
We can do that, but that's going to take 10 minutes of recording time.
I think you're being very optimistic with 10 minutes.
Yeah. Like a 0 is...
That doesn't mean it's not worth doing.
I was going to say Patsy's got a quizzical look on his face right now. I can't tell whether he's sketching or he's trying to figure out what your full name is.
I'll get there.
And what does blockchain look like?
He's, like when you create a character in a video game, like he's a default setting. Like before you have given your character any distinguishing features, that's what he looks like. Mm-hmm. Like it's impossible to remember how he looks like because he's so like nondescript looking.
So like super like unnoticeable, bland.
Yeah.
So like the classic sort of video game protagonist, which is like a white man in his 30s with kind of short, like dark hair and a bit of stubble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Alrighty. So that is our crew. Let's talk about your equipment, which is next. You have a consortium uniform with a built-in vac suit for spacewalks. You have a super sweet space phone camera communicator scanner thing with universal translator. And a variable beam phase pistol set to stun for now. And that brings us then to character goal. There are a list of various goals that your character that drives your character. You can choose one from the list or make your own.
I intend to become captain. Captain Darcy was weak, and that's why he was struck down.
Oh, dang. You got some high ambitions, Coral.
He had too many bones. They're a weak point.
Alrighty, become captain. Tension. Anyone else got anything that jumps out at them?
I need to qualify for my Galactic Federation pilot's license before anyone realizes the one I have is a fake.
And what about blockchain? All I can think is when I say blockchain, I'm just imagining some like really crappy 90s like hip hop or rapper or something.
Okay.
What, like Flavor Flav?
Yeah,
has he got a clock around his neck?
Just got like a giant like crypto symbol around his like blockchain.
Yeah, like the Bitcoin symbol. I think my goal is to understand these weird creatures. Both their anatomy, so I can finally be a good doctor, and their weird feelings.
Understand organic life?
Yeah.
Organisms.
Yeah, that's good.
Would you like to hear my suggestion for what your name stands for?
Please.
Biological, logical, zero emission, kinetic, creative, haptic android imitating normality.
That's exactly it.
Okay. Yeah, your creator was kind of eccentric and not very good at naming things. There we go.
I knew it wouldn't take him very long. All right, awesome. So we have almost finished the setup now, but we still have to establish some details about our ship. So as we know, the ship is called the Raptor. We have a few things to discern about the Raptor before we begin. First of all, we get to pick 2 strengths for the Raptor. We have fast, nimble, well-armed, powerful shields, superior sensors, cloaking device, and fighter craft. What are your thoughts?
I mean, we don't seem like a very violent bunch, so maybe it's not like got a bunch of cool guns on it.
Yeah, none of the roles that you've picked are particularly aggressive, it sounds like, so.
Superior sensors would be nice for surveying and stuff.
Fast sounds fun.
Indeed.
And dangerous.
Yeah. Sounds fun for you. Anything jump out for you, Seb?
Yeah, I like fast. I like superior sensors. Cloaking device might also be fun, but let's do fast and superior sensors.
Yeah, it's great. It means when you're in the pilot seat, you're not only going at like just sort of reality warping speeds, you're also being flooded with information from unfathomable distances away. You know, you think you're about to crash into a planet, but it's actually a dot far in the distance.
You get a lot of information that he can't do anything with because he flies with his feelings.
Yeah, the computer's AI does not understand the hierarchy of importance.
Anyway, blah, 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 and then we pick one negative aspect of the Raptor. We have fuel hog, only one medical pod, horrible circuit breakers, a grim reputation, which is related to Captain Darcy, having done some bad shit in the past.
I do like I was going to suggest horrible circuit breakers because that's just.
I'm very into that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's probably what we should go with. Although I like the idea of grim reputation of us, like being people assuming that it's Captain Darcy in this ship, and then we arrive and they're ready to like shoot him in the face because he double crossed them last time, and then we turn up, but. Horrible circuit breakers is just funny.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of Captain Darcy, you know, the butcher of the Bayesian sphere or whatever. Yeah. Okay, Captain is a war criminal.
What are your thoughts, Seb?
I also immediately was attracted to horrible circuit breakers.
Look, I think it's fair that if we run into any trouble, everything will start exploding with cheap television-style pyrotechnics.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
When you go over 60 in this thing, things start to explode.
All right. Horrible circuit breakers it is. Awesome. And now it comes to the fun bit for me because we get to roll what adventure the Raptor is on this week.
Do we get to know or do you get to know?
Oh, yeah, you absolutely know.
Excellent.
So who is our main antagonist?
I'm not sure we're ready to be antagonized by anyone. I feel like we've already set up a number of problems for ourselves.
The main antagonist this episode is cyber zombies.
Ooh.
Jan's going to have a challenge with that. Okay. I'm going to explain the premise to you through hopefully what will be a awesome and compelling opening monologue.
Lay it on us.
We begin in the quiet depths of the outer, uncharted regions of the known universe. You've been traveling out here without Captain Darcy at the helm now for 2 weeks. During your last encounter, Captain Darcy was made indisposed, unfortunately, after an encounter with a being known only as something else, and now is in a medical pod and has been completely comatose now for during this time.
Space coma.
Yeah, just put space in front of anything and it makes it sci-fi. Everyone knows that. Whilst you were on your way to a mission to make contact with a planet rumored to be in this region, you're now finding yourself without the master at your helm, and your thoughts were to still continue on to the mission anyway. And during the last few stops that you have had on this journey, you have heard rumblings and rumor of something that people are calling cyber zombies. You're not quite sure what that means, and other people don't really seem to either. But one thing that Captain Darcy screamed before he became completely comatose was that the cyber zombies were trying to build something. They were building something. He was like he was seeing a vision. They were trying to build something, some kind of alien artifact that was going to completely rip a hole in reality. You only got this words of what this, some kind of prophecy is from Captain Darcy. But tell me, over the last months of your adventures, what rumors have you heard about the cyber zombies?
I've heard that their linguistic capabilities are limited, but they can only speak in words of 4 syllables beginning with a vowel. In battle, they say intimidate. When if you tell them to go boil the kettle, they say evaporate. If they need to blend in at a party, they say insinuate. That kind of thing. If they crash into someone in the U-Bahn, they say Entschuldigung.
What other rumors have you heard?
I heard that they were created by accident by a scientist who used to create very lifelike androids and then went mad. So, like, people apparently his naming formulas for naming his androids started to show signs of madness just a few years ago, and just a lot of the androids had ridiculous names, and then he starts making cyber zombies.
Were the ridiculous names all like acronyms?
Yeah, really
words
long, unintuitive acronyms.
Not really, just sort of lists of adjectives, not really forming a coherent theme. Okay, yeah.
That
First sign of
almost
madness.
seemed as if he came up with the name first and then tried to shoehorn an acronym into them.
Yeah, the curse of academia. I've seen it happen before.
This is all going right over blockchain's head. He doesn't understand any of those illusions.
Blockchain's one of the early models, right?
Yeah.
Before the trouble set in.
Blockchain, what rumors have you heard?
I've heard that they are now they've been created by accident, but they now worship their creator, and that's why they're building this alien artifact that will rip a hole in reality. I think that's what their creator would have wanted.
So trying to carry the mantle of the mad creator. I see.
I heard the artifact was designed to end the patriarchy, so I'm not sure what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, it just happens to end everything else with it. That's
Probably the only way to collapse the patriarchy.
It's the 32nd century, we still got space patriarchy. It's like, damn.
And my last final question before we begin, what is the name of your ship's AI?
Gladys. No, Gladys was in Portal.
Yes.
Ethel.
Ethel.
And Patsy, what does Ethel stand for?
Oh, for fuck's sake. I'll get back to you. It's spelled with a Y, like ethyl hydrate, to be more sciencey. There we go. That's me making trouble for myself immediately.
But it speaks like an old lady, as the name implies.
Thanks. So.
Constantly offering you food.
So, you guys have been drifting towards...
Sorry, space pills.
Space pills.
Synthicaf.
So, you guys have been traveling towards the planet... Kangtar.
Kangtar?
You guys are heading towards the planet Kangtar. This is a planet that you've heard about. No one has really made contact with it before, but there are rumors from other systems that there are intelligent life forms here, and you are hoping that you may be able to get some kind of medical assistance in Kangtar for the Captain Darcy. Before we hit our first story point, where are you all on the ship right now? What are you doing?
I am in my laboratory, which has been moistened for my comfort. And I am looking at tissue samples from our captain and comparing them to other sort of mysterious psychic coma events, which are very common for ship's captains. So I'm just looking through the data files. So far, does not compare to anything I've seen before. He's not been sort of abducted for a sort of a homoerotic vision quest with mariachi bands like poor Captain Picard. And way over your head, I know.
No, but I'm loving the fact that I don't have context for this because it just sounds amazing in my head.
There are gift sets I can show you.
Doesn't make much more sense than context.
So yeah, I'm fussing over the captain and looking into some history.
So is the captain with you? You're fussing over him? Is he?
I think I have extracted his tissues.
Okay.
And I do not require the rest of the man.
I like the idea that you're just like pulling tissues from his pocket.
Yeah, those are DNA samples.
I see. And how about blockchain? Where is blockchain?
The blockchain is in the med bay, obviously. And at this point, it's just kind of trying shit. Just kind of pumping the captain with everything I got.
So you are with Coral.
No, I'm in my wet laboratory.
You're in your laboratory and taking the tissue away. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, so you're just like trying everything and seeing what works.
Yeah, because none of us has seen this before. But we gotta do something.
And also you don't have a lot of hands-on experience of human anatomy in general. So.
Correct. And this is also I also see this as a learning opportunity. Just...
I have big questions about how blockchain got hired for this crew as a doctor.
The sponsorship deal with the manufacturer.
I think he came with the ship.
And Spencer. What is Spencer up to?
Douglas Spencer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have that written down.
We're calling him Lieutenant Spencer. Where is he? He's on the bridge, where he always is. He's in his flying seat. Which, with the captain out of commish, I guess he's up there on his own an awful lot. He spends a lot of time here. There's no other pilot, so he has no off shift. So any sleep he gets is probably underneath the command console. There's a sleeping bag under there and his rucksack, and basically he lives out of there. There's a poster with that cat hanging off the branch. Just hang in there, baby. is over his seat, and he's got like a very nice teapot and like a stack of chamomile tea bags to keep himself calm. And what else is there? I think he's probably got some like stress balls and stuff. Yeah, so he's basically, it's like someone's work desk with loads of garbage. Someone who sleeps in their office and there's no bed in their office, they're just sleeping on the floor. That's what we have here. It's someone's messy cubicle, but this is where we fly this ship from.
So he's just bumming about his cubicle right now?
He's in the seat. He is we're flying through an asteroid belt at the moment, so he's paying attention.
Yeah, our powerful sensors are giving you a mind-blasting flood of information about every single particulate of that asteroid field.
It's impossible to lower the volume on these things.
Warning, asteroid proximity. Warning, asteroid proximity.
So during all of this, you're laser focused, navigating through this asteroid field, and
not really. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. It's all by gut.
Sure.
Yeah.
And during this, you hear a. Dougie, darling, are you there?
Can this wait? I'm kind of. Whoa! Okay. You've got 4 seconds to get to the next section.
Approaching.
Okay,
asteroid
shit.
approaching.
Okay, hang on. This is gap here. Okay, you've got 14 seconds.
Oh dear, I have a.
We're running out of time.
I have a Werther's for you if you want to calm down.
Okay, hang on. I'll get back to you in a second. I will have to Werther's though.
Boop boop. There's a little chute that appears, and a pill wrapped in cellophane drops down.
I imagine the tube is actually branded as Werther's because that's all that comes down this tube.
Yes.
We have tubes for other things,
Yes.
and they are all branded.
Do you take the Werther's?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Of course, I'm going to take them.
I mean,
But I haven't seen sweets in a very long time.
They're actually just like synthetic pills that taste like Werther's.
Oh, okay, even worse. Excellent.
Yeah. Dougie, darling, I'm picking up something a little strange on my senses, dear.
Oh yeah, there's a lot going on in these sensors. I got to tell you, maybe you could point out exactly what you're talking to about.
Yeah, there's an asteroid that's a little unusually large on the other side of this belt, and I'm getting a strange reading from it, dearie.
Are you suggesting I fly towards it?
Well, that's
Because I need a direction. I don't know where we're going otherwise.
That's not for me to decide, but it is, of course, from our direction to Kangtar. There's strange readings of activity and electrical impulses coming specifically from this rather large asteroid.
Ethel, who is the ranking officer at the moment now that Captain Darcy is indisposed?
Good question.
I have several speech PhDs, and
It would probably go to Science Officer, wouldn't it?
that makes sense to me, yeah.
I mean, that's Coral, right?
Yeah.
At this point in time, my databanks say that Science Officer takes highest rank at this point in time.
I'll hit a button on the intercom. What's your
What is my
Doctor?
rank? I'm just Doctor, yeah.
Dr. Coral, we've got the computer's talking to me about something and I wasn't paying attention. Should I turn towards it? Apparently there's an asteroid.
I engage the human speech function on the mask I wear over my parrot-like beak. Well, please explain the situation more carefully. I think this may be of interest to our mission.
Ethel?
Coral, we are picking up readings from an unusually large asteroid on the other side of the belt, but it is off course for where we are headed.
Do you detect high levels of perhaps valuable mineral content?
I'm currently detecting high levels of electromagnetic pulse activity.
Well, I believe Captain Darcy always said that who dares wins. And perhaps we should dare, in this unexplored region of space, to investigate this mysterious phenomenon. Wouldn't you say so?
I do advise that this means our arrival at Kangtar shall be somewhat delayed.
Well, the planet, if my readings are correct, has been orbiting in that stable arc for the last 60,000 years or so. I believe it can wait a little more. Ha ha ha.
Then I should replot our course?
Absolutely.
Understood.
Make it so. Incidentally,
I get that reference.
Incidentally, Ethel stands for Elderly Treat Dispensing High Energy Locutor.
Nice.
Yes, it
Now
does.
I can stop thinking about that.
And a little shoe appears next to you, and a Werther's drops out like, very good, dearie.
I sneak out the end of one of my little tentacles and store it in one of my ghastly pouches for later.
So I'm assuming that also blockchain heard this also. What's blockchain thinking or doing right now?
Blockchain. So I heard this whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it on the intercom by mistake.
Yeah, we're incapable of turning down the volume on anything.
Okay. Well, blockchain thinks this is a highly unusual decision and highly illogical, and therefore also fascinating because it's very human. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I have any rank to say anything about this. I'm barely qualified for the job I have.
I mean, it's a crew of 3 plus a disembodied old lady. I think you probably get some sort of democratic power here, filtered up the chain of command to me.
All right then. So you change course towards this asteroid.
He takes a look at the star chart in front of him, and he starts to do some maths, and then he throws the piece of paper away, and he just aims at a big asteroid and hopes that it's going to slingshot us in the right direction. And when he sets the course, he makes what do you call those pots where you pour the water down your nose? To try
a neti pot?
A neti pot, yeah. He's trying to clear his nose with a neti pot.
All right, I'd like you to make me a roll for this.
Poor man's falling apart.
I'd like you to make me a roll for this navigation.
Okay.
So it's 1d6 and then an extra 1d6 if you can tell me, you are prepared because you know that we're changing course. And 1 plus 1d6 if you're an expert pilot. So you have 3d6.
And...
So you have to
6 or a 1?
So you have to roll under your number.
So I got 1, and the other 2 are failures.
So the 1 is under your number because you're 3. Yep. And the
Hang
others...
on, no, I have to go over for feelings.
Oh yes, of course. So what did you roll over 3?
I rolled a 5 and a 6.
Oh, okay. You do very well at it. Good job. So that neti pot has really not only cleared your sinuses, but cleared your head as well, and you are laser focused now.
That is exactly what I needed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that Werther's also just that grandmotherly creamy goodness. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Now that I'm not congested, though, I'm starting to realize how much noise there is going on here. And I'm kind of getting a little bit overwhelmed by the whole thing. So I'm going to make some chamomile.
Okay. So now you are heading swiftly towards this asteroid. Let me see. You are the scientist and you are a doctor. I don't, because we're going to fly for a little bit and I don't want to just give rolls constantly to Fabio. So I'm thinking what...
Well, I'm already starting the extremely slow progress between my wet lab and the cockpit because I feel like I need to take command of this vessel. Unfortunately, I move very slowly out of water, so... while the Werther's dissolves slowly in my flesh pocket and I begin to taste it through some of the receptors. So...
we could say that do you want to say that the ship has water tubes installed? Because you're very small. Instead of pneumatic tubes.
Wait, hang on. Have you ever seen that bit where they had that video where they help the salmon migrate over a dam?
Yes.
I would like to be blasted through a tube.
The salmon cannon.
I was going to send a maintenance droid for you with a vacuum function, but this sounds better.
I crawl up the wall towards the pneumatic air shaft and brace myself and say a silent prayer to the many-footed god of my faraway homeland. And then I am whisked into a high-pressure tunnel where I am formed into a long cylinder, screaming through the bowels of the ship to arrive at my destination. I have to do this 5 times a day.
But you scream every time.
How long have you been on the ship?
Oh, this is probably my 2-year tour of duty, probably on my 18th month. It's fine. Everyone back home's very proud of me.
And how about Blockchain? Is Blockchain staying in the med bay, or is he going up to the bridge too?
Logically he'd be staying in the med bay, but I guess for things happening purposes, I'm also going to the bridge.
If you want to stay in the med bay, you can. I just have to think a bit harder about giving you some fun roles to do. If that's what your character would do, then.
Yeah, I think he'd stay in the med bay.
Okay, that's fine.
Given what you've been doing to the captain, I'm not sure he should be left alone for any amount of time.
What has he been doing to the captain?
Well, filling him with everything on the shelf, including the horse deworming pills, I assume.
Which space horse deworming pills.
Yes. Sorry, I misspoke.
Okay, so Coral arrives on the bridge as Spencer is completely engrossed in the controls, ducking and weaving between all kinds of asteroids going around. Does the ship have gravity? I guess the ship has gravity.
Oh, it certainly does, yeah.
Yes,
Though I would say that we are being affected by the various gravity wells we are bouncing from.
Mm-hmm.
So, one moment the gravity is towards the wall, one moment it's towards the ceiling. It's you're lucky you're in a tube.
Indeed, I imagine, like sometimes I'm going down a corridor and I just become a sort of flat sheet for a while as gravity increases, and then I slowly reform.
And I imagine it's going to test your medical skills to simply keep an instrument in the captain with these sort of maneuvers. If you want to roll.
We'll come back to that. So you're ducking and weaving throughout all of these asteroids, and then Coral is ejected onto the bridge.
I hold out a bucket just in time to catch him.
I plummet into it with a ghastly mucal splat. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Usual spot?
Absolutely. Put me in the bucket seat.
So after another few minutes of swerving and swooping between these asteroids, you come into this clear point. There's like several layers to this asteroid belt, and you're in like a clear point in between now. As you are now heading through this clear point into the next amount of asteroids towards your goal, there's another beep, and Ethel goes, sorry dearies, but I'm picking up some other strange signal. It's very, very close to us. It seems to be some kind of electronic pulse, even stronger than the one I picked up on my long-range sensors.
Ethel, can you put it through on the speakers so we can hear what it sounds like? What's your analysis, Ethel?
Analysis. Some form of electrical barrier, perhaps a trigger warning.
What's the location of the source?
5 clicks. I don't know how far distances are in space. 5 ahead.
Coral. Coral, I think we might be approaching some kind of proximity sensor.
Intriguing.
I'm gonna pull back on the throttle here till we figure things out.
Yes, I think this calls for further analysis. Does this strange energy signature emanate from our target asteroid?
Analysis. It does not. It appears to be some significant range before our destination.
The plot thickens. This demonstrates perhaps a presence of intelligent life within this sector. I believe we owe it to our oath as crew members and as members of the interstellar naval forces to investigate. Wouldn't you say?
Does blockchain have a comms in the medbay?
Yes, that is correct under Rule 14.
Rule 14,
yes.
One of the better rules. I believe as we may be shortly contacting, perhaps with intelligent life, we may require your medical touch and your knowledge of biological organisms.
Certainly.
Your vast knowledge of biological organisms.
Ethel, can you compare this signal to all the signals that we have in the library?
Processing. Oh, I'm so very tired. Processing. Although the signature is not exactly available in my databanks, it is somewhat similar to some proximity warning shields used in some of the lesser-known federal partnerships.
I jam on the brakes. I don't know what's ahead of us.
I want to say, you've been you reduced the throttle. I heard you say that, but you were still going forward.
Yeah.
I want you to roll to see whether you managed to hit the brakes in time.
Yeah, cool.
So we have one dice. I'm not going to give you the prepared dice this time. I will give you one for expert. And if Coral wants to help, you can offer another die if you can justify how you help.
Really more of a theory sort of guy than a...
Then you have 2.
Okay.
One thing I should also mention, if you roll the dice that's your exact number, then you get laser feelings. A laser feelings is a success, but it also means that you can ask the GM a special question as to insights as to what's happening right now.
Right, okay. So I'm having a bad feeling about this, so I'm like, I'm just jamming buttons trying to stop the thing, and I'm pulling back on the control panel. This is just a feelings roll.
It's a feelings roll.
I got a 3 and a 2, and I want to roll under for feeling. I got laser feelings.
So you got a 3 and a 2.
Yeah. My number is 3.
So you've got 1 success, and you got laser feelings. So you jam on the brakes. That's definitely how Spaceship's brakes like.
There's a huge pedal on which like the lever on it comes from somewhere underneath the floorboard way in front of me.
So
and the rubberized pad has fallen off, so it's just metal, which your foot keeps on sliding off.
So you stop.
Yeah.
And as you stop, when you come to a halt, you see in front of you, now that you're not moving that quickly, there is a wave of light coming from a point a little bit to your starboard, whichever one that is, going whoom, 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 of like light, some kind of light force field. However, as you come into proximity to this, Ethel pipes up. I can't see very well. Ow. You may now use your laser feelings.
She cannot see very well. Okay, so I'm going to launch a probe right into that beam of light that I saw. And I want to see what happens to it.
So your laser.
Oh no, I get to ask a question.
Your laser feeling is that you get to ask me a question about what is currently happening, and I have to answer honestly.
Does it look to me like this is pointing in a direction, or does it look like it's something to stop people?
No, it looks like if you stop and you look, you can see like there are several other glints of metal, like expanding to either side of you. It looks like there is some kind of proximity line that is spanning throughout various parts of the asteroid belt. It seems to be like connecting to various metal things floating in space amongst the asteroid belt.
Okay, and so these are like something is going between these satellites or whatever they are.
Some kind of energy, yeah.
Right, okay. Okay, I guess that was my question. Was it? Yeah.
I have an interest in these things. I would suggest that we could perhaps launch a manned probe to have a closer look and further analysis of these unusual structures.
As the only man on the ship, I'd like to know who you're putting in the probe.
The loneliness of command. They never understand how difficult it is to make these decisions. Well, Captain Darcy always said that one should give no orders that one would not undertake oneself. I indicate one of the little discarded canisters that we sort of keep dry goods in, and I'm looking at my bucket and I'm looking at the canister, and I begin to crawl towards it, saying, Lieutenant, you'll have to seal me in and launch me from the torpedo bay towards the nearest satellite.
During this time, Blockchain is in the med bay. You've come to a very abrupt halt. I would like you to make me a roll for whatever you're currently doing to Captain Darcy. Please explain. But I'd like you to roll to
stop it exploding.
To basically stop fucking up whatever medical shit you're doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just have a huge syringe and and I'm currently just wildly poking him because I don't exactly know where it goes.
Is it a syringe for putting things in or taking things out?
Who knows, man, at this point.
I'm really glad we made this guy a war criminal ahead of time.
It's a syringe with two ends. One end you stick it in and it sucks some kind of fluid out. Then you turn it around, you stick it in, and the fluid goes straight back in.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess you want me to roll that I don't accidentally like hit his heart or something?
Yes.
Okay. What do I roll for that?
I'm going to give you 1d6 plus 1d6 for expert because you are the doctor.
Yeah.
You're using lasers, I presume.
Mm-hmm.
You have to roll under your number, which is 5 for the audience.
Okay, I have 2 and 4, so both under.
Very good success. So the brakes slam on, and there's like some, what do you call it, like gyroscopic abilities that you have internally, that as the ship gravity is like putting force on you to pull you forward, the gyroscopic motions inside you manage to hold the syringe steady. The ship comes to a stop. You see that your hands are still exactly where they were supposed to be, and you have a satisfied smile.
Yeah. Another life saved. All part of the job.
Back to the bridge.
So you're getting into the container. You're in the container. I pushed your last tendrils of whatever is you into the container. Gaffer tape it up. Then I drill an air hole in it because I want you to be safe.
That's true. I guess I have my like octopus-shaped like vac suit on in theory.
You're all wearing a uniform that has a vac suit.
But I like the your consideration for my safety touches my lonely commanding heart.
You drill a hole in it and then send him out into the vacuum of space.
I'm thinking about your safety at all times. I then stuff you into the torpedo tube, close that tube, give it a kick because the door has been catching lately, and fire away.
For science! There's the assumption that maybe you'll come and pick me up afterwards. We haven't talked about it.
We should have, because there's no communication device in that capsule.
No, there has to be a communication device.
There is on your
helmets,
suit.
comm, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So you are now being slowly propelled towards this energy barrier.
I put my one sort of horrible gelid eye towards the tiny air hole so that I can look at the tumbling scenery of space.
Uh-huh.
They should have sent a poet. And I guess I will hope that I was aimed in the right direction, or I'm just going to keep swirling through space forever.
Oh, there is. You can, as you approach, you see it's like a sphere almost. There's like a sphere of energy pulsing around this area, and you are rapidly now approaching this energy field. I
tied a bungee cord to the capsule before I kicked it out.
Uh-huh.
You're not going to get lost in space. I've lost too many crewmen in space before. I'm not doing it again.
No, we've learned. We didn't start with 3 crewmen.
We need a rope now.
All right. If necessary, I can correct course by sort of spewing fluids from my siphon, which I've collected and synthesized from this Werther's original.
And we clarified that this was a drone, so you can pilot it.
Oh, I see. I thought it was a large can of dried foods.
Well, I think that's in the drone, no?
No, I'm pretty sure it was just like a catering tin of beans.
Well,
yeah,
sure.
we're red dwarfing this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just propelling this canister towards the energy field.
Yeah. Does it seem like I'm on course?
Oh yeah. I mean, as I say, it's a sphere, so you're heading like directly towards the energy field.
Okay, fantastic. Wait. I have a little gun, and I have a super sweet camera communicator scanner thing. Some sort of large magnet would be quite helpful, but I do, fortunately, have 6 tentacle-equipped arms. So before impact, I'm going to try and use my little ray gun to perforate the tin so that I can push the lid back off again with a tentacle and then latch myself onto the surface of this satellite.
Oh, so you're heading towards the actual satellite?
That was my intention, yes.
I thought you were just heading towards the energy field.
No, I wish to find the power source and investigate it.
Okay.
And if necessary, conquer it in the name of interstellar civilization.
Okay, so you head towards this metallic object in space. As you get if you get further towards it, you can see it's kind of like it looks like a D8. My favorite description is two pyramids ass to ass. Thank you, Dungeons and Daddies. So you're approaching this. It's basically a 6-foot D8. And as you get towards it further, it's shiny, it's metallic, it's a metal that maybe you can't really exactly tell exactly what it is. And on the top and on the bottom, there's like a white flashing light.
Okay, assuming I'm able to grapple to it with my powerful tentacles, would I be able to judge whether it is of perhaps the manufacture of any civilization that I'm familiar with?
Are you touching it?
I absolutely am.
Okay. You touch it. And do I need to make you roll for this? No. You touch it, and immediately there's been these pulsing waves of like energy going through, like in like a white blue color. You touch it, and suddenly those waves turn red.
That's in some cultures, red is used for celebration, for greetings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Now,
probably colorblind anyway.
If you'd like to make me a lasers roll now,
love to
I
make
will
you a lasers
see
roll.
if you can gain some insight on this.
Okay, as a mollusk of science, would this be applicable, or am I just rolling the one dice?
Yes, I will give you 2 because you're an expert on scientific matters.
All right. That's a 5 and a 3, so that is... Lasers is...
1 under your number.
1 under, yeah.
Okay. So as you touch this, you know that it is a very rare metal. You haven't really actually even had the opportunity to touch it before, but you've heard of it. You know that it is superconductive for electromagnetic energies, which would be most useful when used in a large network for connecting multiple points together to make some kind of barrier or information network.
And as far as we know, this is not a part of space which anyone has sort of set up any sort of...
No.
Intriguing. And it does not look like it, would be manufactured by any sort of society that I'm familiar with. I would like to determine whether it is within my remit to steal this valuable metal and bring it back to the homeland.
So the design is very similar to something that you might have seen before. It's not from a well-known manufacturer that you would know of, but you can tell that it is modeled on some old and very well-known schematics of proximity warning. What's the word I'm looking for?
Sensors?
Sure, sensors. Yay, my sci-fi vocabulary.
I wave an urgent tentacle towards what I think is the windscreen of the ship, which I'm increasingly imagining just like a big VW van or something. Indicating the change in color and making some indication for pull me in. Because this doesn't have an access port or anything, right? It is a single...
Yeah.
So there's not a little guy in here who's going to come out and start shooting me.
No.
Okay, I mean, I might also... do we have a hatch big enough that we could just pull this thing in? Because, for research.
Sure.
I indicate, open the big side door. I'm coming in. Got something good.
I just remind you that you are 2.5 feet tall, and this is a 6-foot piece of ass-to-ass pyramid metal. Are you pulling that whole thing with you?
A 6-inch wide octopus can easily drown a diver simply by being just a tiny creature made entirely of muscle. Should I roll feelings?
If you're rolling to do this physical action, no. If you're rolling to, figure out if this is a bad idea or not, then yes.
Well, in that case, yes, I would like to see if this is
Or
a bad
if, like,
idea.
maybe if you want to roll to figure out, like, what are the consequences of you doing this, then sure.
Absolutely. Would that be lasers or would that be feelings?
I will leave that to you.
I think that's probably lasers. Why should I not do this? That is 1 below.
1 below. So you manage to wrap your tentacles around it, and it comes away quite easily. You wrap your tentacles around it, and as you start to be pulled back into the ship, the red lights start to flash, and you feel the metal vibrate beneath you, and then you feel this boom. There is a big electromagnetic pulse that goes shooting out from it, and as that happens, you see the whole thing dissipates.
The energy field dissipates.
The energy field dissipates, but like the red lights go whoom, 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 and then off.
Electromagnetic pulses are good for spaceships, right? We've probably got shielding or something.
We've got
That's-
EMP shielding, definitely, probably. I hope.
I mean, there's no there's no
I hope-
destructive energy coming towards you.
Right. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so has this indicated that it was a bad idea to pull this thing out of alignment?
Sorry, I should have made that clearer. 1 under means success with a complication. You figured it out, but unfortunately slightly too late. You're thinking that whatever this was protecting, it's pretty certain that they know you're coming now. You've just kind of shut down their entire, like, proximity warning shield.
I think this perhaps calls for a conference of the entire crew, so that we can recapitulate the situation. Wouldn't you agree, Lieutenant? Doctor?
Yes.
Is blockchain's
Captain? Lieutenant?
title
What are
doctor?
you?
I'm also a doctor,
Yeah.
but a doctor of science. You Doctor Blockchain?
Doctor?
Yes,
Doctor.
Dr. Blockchain, yes.
Doctor, Lieutenant, I suggest we reconvene. And then I start indicating pull me in.
Where do you think you're going with this big alien artifact?
I wish to preserve it for study.
It looks preserved out there. Why would you bring it on board? We don't know what it is. We don't know what kind of diseases are on it. We don't know what it's going to do. You moved it and something weird happened. It didn't look good. It was red flashing lights are never good. They never mean this is okay. Something good is happening.
I believe matters of quarantine should be further to the medical personnel of the ship. Doctor?
No, I agree. This seems ill-advised.
Very well.
Okay, I didn't expect him to agree with me, but now that he did, I'm going with it.
There's like a whole bunch of them out there anyway. I could maybe grab one later. It's fine.
All right, so Coral is safely delivered back into the ship and shoots through the pneumatic tunnels back to the bridge. Blockchain, are you still in the medbay, or are you also reconvening with them on the bridge?
I am now reconvening with them, and I think I'm examining Carl if he has been in any way affected by what happened. Maybe some radiation, maybe, I don't know, something.
In the ways of maybe like an insight check. Yep. Would you like to make a roll?
Sure.
I'll give you 2 die.
I extend my tentacles somewhat proudly, as if sort of posing for like post-action photography.
Are you rolling? I'm assuming you're rolling lasers with a medical
Yeah,
exam.
that seems
yes.
like, yeah. That's a 6 and a 3, so I want to go under, right?
For lasers, yes.
Yes. So.
Coral, did you bring the item back with you in the end, or did you let it go?
I did not. I was outvoted by my mutinous crew.
Okay. So you examine Coral, and you can tell that there's been no radiation, no effect, no negative effects to Coral whatsoever from touching this item. But as you are examining Coral, Ethel goes beep, 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 beep. I definitely haven't got that consistent, but oh god, gentlemen, I am getting a reading from, I think it's that asteroid we were looking at. I'm getting some kind of communications.
From the... oh, God, this can't be good. You've set off the alarm and now they want to know who's here. Okay, we'll just pretend we're Jehovah's Witnesses? Or we're selling vacuum cleaners?
I believe this is a perfect opportunity to make first contact.
That sounds very dangerous.
But, listen, technology has been barely damaged and touched by the exploratory mission. And, what is the current armament of this ship? Does anyone have that information?
Current stars say 0 weaponry, 0 ammunitions.
Except for our blasters, right?
The ship has 0 weaponry and 0 ammunitions. Munitions that may be carried by crew members are their own business.
Oh, okay, great.
So are we being, hailed? Is the space phone ringing?
It's not that it's ringing, but she's picking up a signal.
Do you want to, as Douglas is fastening all the safety features on his suit, he's put his helmet on. He's realized that he doesn't know what would kill these, but lots of things could kill him. He's fumbling with the dial on his phase pistol, trying to find where kill is. Why are they all stunned? There's 5 stun settings. How many things am I going to stun? I want to kill things.
Stun, caramelize, whisk.
Defrost. Why is there a defrost on it? And yeah, Ethel, can you put that over the speakers?
Processing.
I try to look officerly. I continue to be an octopus.
There's no visual, there's just an audio signal, and you hear scrabbling sounds along with
annihilate.
Do you think it's a wrong number?
Who is this?
For the creator. For the master.
I think these are Jehovah's Witnesses.
I was going to suggest cyber zombies, but I think you might be onto something.
tink, 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 tink.
I think that might be religious chanting.
Message repeats.
Oh, turn it down. Wait, we can't turn anything down.
We can't turn it down. I can turn it off. Can I turn it off?
You can turn it off.
Oh, thoughts, gentlemen?
I think I may have just figured out what the thing you broke was. Perhaps it was some kind of containment system keeping those cyber zombies on that asteroid.
I think it's a little early to go around throwing accusatory language like thing you broke. I think. However, I suggest we scan for movement within the sector, and if it cannot be found, perhaps continue along our normal route towards, is it called the planet?
Kangtar.
Towards Kangtar as planned, and this unusual incident will be nothing but a blip on the flight log.
In principle, I agree, but perhaps we should put that thing back.
It does seem a little disaligned. I suppose that is true. Might look bad on our record, as a ship.
No, I purge the logs every day. Don't worry.
You're a good man, Lieutenant.
What about blockchain? What do they think right now?
Blockchain, I don't know.
Blockchain, would you like to make me a... no, that's not going to work for you. Make me a 1 die roll.
I guess I might want to also ask the doctor if he knows anything about cyber zombies.
What am I rolling?
I'm going to let you roll lasers because this could go either way.
Okay. 2.
It is a 2, so that's a success. Blockchain, you think about the rumors that you heard on the last civilized planet that you visited, and you're reminded of these rumors of cyber zombies. And the rumor was that they were building something really terrible. No one really knew exactly what it was, but the rumor was that they were building something that could completely fuck reality over.
I thought we all knew that.
I mean, that is the premise. You heard some rumors. You don't know if that's true. Some of you heard different rumors, but you specifically remember this rumor.
Okay. I think if the rumors I heard are correct, we cannot leave here without investigating this further. Because this might, and excuse the human expression, fuck up everything.
An interesting hypothesis. Do you think, in accordance with our primary directives, it behooves us to make some investigation to secure the area?
Yes, very much so. I believe our most important duty is to make things not destroy everything.
All right, because this is interesting, because now we've had the Pandora's box of knowledge has been opened. Now if we shift this thing back into place and fuck off, someone might hold us liable later, and that'd be bad.
I'm flicking through a book of regulations to find a loophole to suggest that maybe we should leave.
If the crew is of sufficient incompetence, you're no longer liable for any world-destroying events.
Cool. Let's see you next week, folks. That was the end of Lasers and Feelings.
Very well. I do not wish it to be said of the proud scions of the hatchlings of the Coral family that we did not step up when the universe required us. I would suggest, Ethel, a full sweep of the area, perhaps indicating any life forms within 2 clicks from here. Lieutenant, I would prepare the ship for imminent, the speediest and most expeditious possible route towards any place where those life signs might be found.
Oh God, I knew you were going to say that.
Doctor, I require a spray bottle. My moistness levels have dropped precipitously.
Certainly.
Thank you.
I get him a spray bottle.
Could you mist me gently?
That's kind of, yeah.
Thank you.
There's a scanning. Scans for life form finds 0 life forms. However, there has been high levels of activity on that large asteroid we were heading towards. There seems to be also there a buildup of electromagnetic activity.
Guess it makes sense that cyber zombies, probably not a lot of life signs there. We don't have a button that detects anything sort of clanking around being gross.
Yeah, killing the sci-fi genre, Jan.
Very well. Gentlemen, I think our course is clear. We must embark on a landing party.
Someone should probably stay in the ship, though, right?
Well, as we see, the flight suits for landing parties are color-coded. 2 of them, standard officer yellow, and there's 1 red one.
I told you red never means good things. Although it does suit my skin complexion.
May I remind the crew of space code 41279. No boarding crew may be allowed to leave the ship at a member number of 2 or less.
Well, the protocol is clear. You don't need to tell me about order number 412. Do we have any kind of nice little space buggy or anything? We're walking. Aren't
Sure,
we?
why not?
Hell yeah, space buggy.
But you have to land on the asteroid first.
All right, well, who space dares, space wins.
Spencer, do you want to take them in?
All right. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
has already arrived.
Thanks for listening, folks. If you enjoyed this, please leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice. It'll help spread the word and help others to find us too. If you have any comments, questions, or just want to get in touch with us, you can. You can find us on Twitter with @TalesOfPodcast, Instagram with @Tales_of_podcast, and we're also on the dice.camp server on Mastodon with the name @TalesOf. We'd love to hear from you. This episode's Tales of crew is Fabio as Lieutenant Douglas Spencer, Patsy as Science Officer Coral. You can find him on Twitter with @Anyone'sPatsy. Seb as Dr. Blockchain. You can find him on Twitter with @SMoitzheim, and other content, mostly German, via smoitzheim.omg.lol. And also myself, Jan, as GM, and also our audio producer. You can reach me on Twitter with @ThatLastJan. I haven't really figured out what new socials to move to as Twitter implodes with a whimper, but hopefully I'll figure something out soon. All music and sound effects are used with permission and may have been edited and modified for use. Details and links can be found in the show notes. And that's that for now. Tune in next episode for the action-packed conclusion, and we'll be hopefully back on track with Delta Green next month. See you soon! Okay, first things first, I'd like to get room tone and then we can discuss what game we want to play. So,
that thing.
Yeah.
I think the tone is quite friendly, actually.
Okay,